This is Catholic Forum. I'm Bob Krebs, and whether we like it or not, it's back to school time. And my guests today on Catholic Forum are two leaders of the school's office for the Catholic Diocese of Wilmington. First off, their Superintendent Lou D'Angelo. Lou is no stranger to listeners and viewers of this podcast. You're on many times.
Glad to be back. Thank you.
Glad to have you here. However, we do have a new guest, which is the new associate superintendent for the school's office for the Diocese of Wilmington, Tyler Kulp.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to being here.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you both. We're going to be talking about, what's going on, what's new in the school's office at the Diocese of Wilmington. But let's start with you, Tyler. Since you are new to the diocese, tell us about yourself.
Yes, thank you. It's exciting to be here in Wilmington. Catholic education changed my life in 2015 after I earned my master's degree. I spent a small amount of time in a Catholic school, and that 3 hours that I had to do for my master's program literally changed my life. I knew I needed to get out of public education, get into Catholic education. Long story short, got a job as the dean of students. A year and a half later, was a Catholic school principal as a non-Catholic, which was very interesting. The priest really got a joy of making that known to everybody in the community. And then I came into the church in 2017, went back and got my doctorate degree, and I was lucky enough that Lou offered me a job in the spring, and we relocated here to Wilmington. Our house is still in boxes, but we've got beds up and we've got air running, and we're blessed to be here. So I have my wife of 16 years, Jessica, and I have two kids, Stella and William. They're both going to be at St. John the Beloved with Mr. Hart.
That's great. So what was it about those 3 hours that you spent in a Catholic school that kind of changed your whole life around?
You can walk into a Catholic school and just feel it. Mm-hmm. You can feel the vibe. You can feel Jesus present. The kids were smiling. The faculty was smiling, happy, welcoming. Everyone shook my hand, welcomed me into their environment as just some stranger. And it felt like I'd already been there for years. So just the aura of coming in before, I didn't know what a Catholic Mass was. I didn't know about the faith. I had no idea. But the power of Catholic education, it's incredible. It overtook our family. I came into church in 2017. My wife came into church in 2019. And our kids were born in 2018 and 2020. So God is good.
Yeah, wow, that was very providential, your visit to that Catholic school.
It was unbelievable.
And that was in North Carolina, correct?
Yes, sir. Yeah, North Carolina at Sacred Heart Catholic School. I visited there for a couple hours, and I knew after those I was going to work there. There was no doubt about it. So I went back, worked on my resume, all the things, and kept bothering the principal at the time and said, I need to be there. I need to come in. So he found a way to get me in as the dean of students, athletic director, and math teacher. So I did all three of those roles for about a year, and then I became the interim principal on Ash Wednesday, 2017, I believe. And yeah.
The rest is history.
The rest is history.
Now you're in Delaware.
Now I'm in Delaware. Yeah, that's been very interesting. My wife and I spent a lot of time in North Carolina. She's never lived anywhere else outside North Carolina. So we've been here for close to 6 weeks now, and yeah, we're excited. We can't wait. I'm excited for the school year to start, to meet some of the new teachers, meet some of the administrators I haven't met yet, and just get to work.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you can obviously your enthusiasm will get you really far around here. And we're glad to have you in the Diocese of Wilmington.
Yeah, thank you very much.
He actually is closer to home now, Bob, too.
Closer to home?
Yeah, he's not from North Carolina.
Oh, no?
No, not from North Carolina. I grew up in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
So I got a scholarship to play soccer in college in a small town, Salisbury, North Carolina. So I went down there in 2002, and lo and behold, I'm back now in 2025.
That's great. Awesome. Lou, everybody knows you, but tell us about yourself in case we've forgotten anything about you.
Well, thank you. Well, here I am starting year number 19 in the Diocese of Wilmington, which is hard for me to believe because when I came, I thought, well, I'll probably be here 5 years or 7 years or whatever. But I guess I fell in love with the diocese too. So after spending 27 years in the Archdiocese of Philadelphia as teacher and principal, and then working in the Catholic Schools Office as a director of curriculum and government programs, I came here as associate superintendent and beginning year number 19 in the diocese and year number 14 as superintendent of schools.
Wow.
So it has gone quickly.
So 27 in Philly, 19 in You're pretty old.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that compliment. I can always count on you. That's for sure.
You're very experienced. Yeah.
I'd like to think of it as wisdom. Okay.
There you go. So, Lou, I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, so give us an overview of the Catholic schools in our diocese.
And I'm hoping that people have some knowledge of us because they
sure.
read the dialogue and certainly through other sources. But we have 30 schools in the Diocese of Wilmington. Some of those schools are parish and diocesan schools. So among those 30, we have 4 parish diocesan high schools. We have 14 parish diocesan elementary schools. Then we have the other configuration of schools. So we have 3 private Catholic high schools, and we have 5 private Catholic elementary schools. And really, people say, well, what's the difference between a parish diocesan school and a private school? It all has to do with governance. Mm-hmm. Governance really makes the difference and who makes the decisions. But all of those schools, including 3 standalone early childhood centers, all fall under Bishop Koenig. Mm-hmm. So they're all Catholic schools. It's just a matter of governance. And then we have a new school this year that is in the works, that's for sure.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about that in just a little bit. But before we talk about that, there's been some administration changes in some of our schools, and I think that happens every year. You know, when you have 30 schools, you're going to have some turnover. So, give us some of the highlights of the administration changes.
So we have 3 new principals coming in this year. We have a new principal at Most Blessed Sacrament Catholic School, which is in Berlin, Maryland. We have a new principal at St. Elizabeth School here in the city. And we have a new principal at the new school that will open that we'll talk about. Then we have a couple of assistant principals coming in, so we're making a couple changes there. We also have an interim president. There's a change at Nativity Prep, and so we have a new president going in there for the year. He had served as the president at Salesianum School, so I think he'll do a fine job there, and that's Brendan Keneally. So I think we have some good moves. I think we have good people coming into all of those spots. But as you say, change is inevitable, right?
Mm-hmm, for sure.
Yeah.
So let's get to it. We have a new school. Tell us about it.
So we do. We have a school that is in the Catholic tradition. It's kind of a growing phenomenon, right? So you don't just come in and automatically be granted the title of Catholic school. You kind of have to go through a couple of hoops to get to that point. So the school is Holy Cross High School. There has always been a clamor for a high school in the Dover area. So you'll remember we had Holy Cross High School, and unfortunately, because of enrollment and finances in the mid-'80s, that high school closed. And then in the later 90s, we opened St. Thomas More Academy, and that was in Magnolia, but it also served that population area. That school was very successful at its start. What changed is the growth of charter schools, and that detracted somewhat from the high school. And again, finances and enrollment, which are the 2 key players in the game, forced us to have to close that school not too long ago in 2018. And then there was, again, another resurgence recently. People wanted a Catholic high school. So the former president from St. Mark's High School took on that responsibility and, working with a very strong board in that area, formed Holy Cross High School. Now, it's a little bit of a different school. They're starting out small with just freshmen. My understanding is there's about 27 students enrolled right now. But more so than the fact that it's small and, just getting started, the program there is one of classical education.
Explain that, if you would.
Yeah, and actually, our colleague here has more experience with classical education than I do.
If you want to kick it over,
That's it.
classical education is just a different way to go about just infusing the faith and the way in their approach to education. I am excited. I was down to visit Allison, the principal there, last week, and got the tour of the school and met with the president, and they've got a lot of good things going. They've got a plan. They've got a vision. It is really excited. I'm really excited to work with her because she's also coming from the Charlotte area. So it was nice. I connected with her earlier this in the spring just to say, hey, I'm here in Charlotte. We got an ally. So it was nice to talk some Charlotte things. And it's interesting. I come from a school in Salisbury. I work very closely with a school in Gastonia, North Carolina. The priest there at St. Michael's, we hired, him and I worked together at Sacred Heart in Salisbury. We hired a principal to reinvigorate the Gastonia area, much like Dover. And the school only had 40 kids to start. And this year they're going to be enrolled with over 210 students. So there is a passion for classical education. There is obviously a need, as Lou was explaining, in Dover. And the excitement down there was really permeable. The feeling that you walked in, it's brand new. It seems like everyone's working together. So I'm excited. I'm excited for Dover to have a high school. I'm excited to partner with Mallory at the elementary school and work with Allison and really try to revive the high school there in Dover. And they got a new approach, which is exciting, and we'll see what happens.
Talk about that. What makes the curriculum a classical curriculum rather than a normal curriculum for a non-classical?
Classical curriculum, I was a member of ICLE. It's just a liberal arts education. They just really, for instance, they have a very strong Latin program. So the students get to have Latin all the time.
And what's the benefit of that?
Just understanding the roots, understanding where we came from, the language.
Very helpful with high school placement tests and college placement or college acceptance tests.
Right.
Because you can figure out.
Right, if you have that base.
You have that base there. I would think philosophy is also something that's not traditionally taught in our high schools, but it is taught in the school.
And I know they have a room for Socratic seminar with a lot of discussion. So it's just a different way to go about it. Very collaborative, student driven. A lot as well, so it gives these high schoolers a chance to really dive deep into some of the things. And they're ready. I mean, I know just going down there, just walking in, everything is brand new in the building, and they're excited to get rolling.
What is they have a new building? What's the location? Do you know offhand? Or
they're right on 13. It was a building that was kind of rehabbed into this building.
I see.
But that's not the end of their plans. They're also looking at the purchase and acquisition of more land and hoping that things go well to expand.
Yeah, they've got an extensive plan in 3 years to really have a brand new campus.
And this is an independent school? I mean,
it would be an independent Catholic school, right? So it would be the fourth independent school that we have in the diocese.
Right.
And part of that is just kind of working through, they're certainly included in the things that we're doing this year.
Right.
But they kind of need a growing time to kind of prove that they're going to be here, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And you said Allison is the principal?
Allison Eilers is the principal. Tom Fertile is the president. And Joseph Andrews is the chair of the board.
Cool. Yeah. Very good. In case you're just tuning in, you're listening to Catholic Forum, and my guests today are from the Catholic Schools Office of the Diocese of Wilmington, Superintendent Lou D'Angelo and new Associate Superintendent Tyler Kulp. And any other news to share, Lou? Anything else going on we need to know about?
Oh, yeah, there's always other news to share. You know that's for sure. Certainly one of the exciting things is as we move into the papacy of Pope Leo. And I think our schools were very excited, of course, as everybody was, an American Pope, somebody relatively close geographically to where we are. I mean, in the world picture, Chicago looks close, right? And
Sure.
Villanova is even closer. And I think one of the things that we'll find is that we're looking to learn from the Pope, certainly his vision on education, but also just his vision on life and how the church will grow under his leadership. So I think that's important for sure. I think we came back from a conference yesterday, and I think one of the things that was on the agenda this was a conference for the interdiocesan school region in which we find ourselves. So that would be us in Baltimore, Washington, Wheeling, Charleston, Arlington, and Richmond, and it was held in Arlington, and not the easiest drive. Let me just say that.
Absolutely.
No.
But we came back from there, and one of the things that I know intrigued both of us was everything that's coming out about artificial intelligence. And where are we in the diocese? Obviously, we're all users of it. Where are we in our schools? And what kind of parameters can we help set for students and families in our schools to guide them so that they live what they believe in terms of looking at that. So we'll be certainly studying more there. Good news on the education front. Our standardized test scores are very strong. We use the Renaissance program, and both at the elementary level and the high school level, we are 10 points or more above the national average, and that's always a nice place to be in reading and in math. And then our usual accolades that we like to throw out there, 99% graduation rate, good return in terms of scholarships for college. Those are all the things that certainly inspire people to start to look at us if they're not already. And for those who are with us, encourage them to continue. And then the other thing we're looking at, we continue, and we have continued since COVID, to have difficulty hiring teachers. But it's not because it's us. It's because it's the nature of the profession at this point, unfortunately, in the country. And so we're looking at always trying to move people through licensing and certification in Delaware or Maryland. But we're also looking at what can we do for people who, let's say, are changing careers. So, Bob, after you do another 20 years in this career, you may decide that you'd like to teach communication in a school, and how can we help you get there?
That's exactly my plan.
So
I'll be the only 88-year-old teacher in your school.
Oh, age is just a number, Bob.
You'll be the best.
No worries.
88-year-old.
Absolutely.
But, how do we bring people in who have life experience? They have a wealth of information to share, but they're not going to be able to go back or they're not going to choose to go back and get another master's degree or whatever. So we're putting together a program that will allow those people to transition into our schools as well, and I think it's going to enhance the richness of our program in doing that. So that gave us a couple things to work on this year.
Yeah. We're kind of running out of time, but in the time we have left, why do parents choose Catholic elementary and high schools for their children? What's the big draw? What are you
I'll
hearing?
give you the school perspective, and we'll have my colleague give you the parent perspective.
Yes, absolutely.
And hopefully we're on the same page. I think parents who choose us, whether they vocalize it or not, want their students, their children, to get to heaven. That's the first thing. They recognize us as a holy and a holistic education, so that everything that we do, beyond even the theology or the religion classes, is really formational. In addition to that, I think they recognize quality education. Now, oftentimes we get people who choose us for our academic program, behavior programs, and safety. And those are all important. And then faith somehow is like their fourth line of choice there. But I can guarantee you, by the time they spend time with us, faith moves up that ladder and it becomes primary. And they realize that we're about creating citizens for the church and citizens for the world, and that makes all the difference.
And it infects the entire family.
Absolutely.
In a very, very positive way.
And we have a perfect example here.
Yeah, Catholic education's life-changing. I mean, simply put, we're putting kids on a pathway to sainthood. I can't. I'm very excited to have found St. John the Beloved. I got to tour multiple schools, and they were all very powerful in their ways. And I want my 6-year-old and 5-year-old, obviously, to go to college and get the best extracurricular they can be, and to do all the things. My daughter is a theatrical musician right now, and my son is a soccer superstar, and that's all well and great and fine. But I want them to be good people. I want them to make an impact on the world. With, as Lou was mentioning earlier, with artificial intelligence, education is changing right before our eyes. What's not changing is what the Catholic Church is rooted on, and Christianity is rooted on Jesus Christ. And that is why I'm here and doing what I'm doing. That's why my kids are going to be in Catholic school and doing what they're doing and learning about the faith every day. I mean, learning how to be virtuous disciples of Christ. And I couldn't be more excited to be here in Wilmington. This school year is going to be awesome. I am ready to learn and work alongside the leaders and just try to create the best environment that I can to give these principals a chance to thrive in their roles, teachers to give themselves an opportunity to make this impact on kids and really start building the foundation for the pathway to sainthood.
How can our listeners, viewers, get more information about our schools?
So I would always direct them, Bob, in 4 ways, right? The first place I'd send them is to our diocesan website, www.cdow.org. When they get there, under ministries, you'll find Catholic schools. And I think that gives a starting point, but certainly not an ending point. The other way is, of course, to call the office, which is 302-573-3133. But I think, looking at school websites makes a difference, and there is nothing as powerful. I think you heard, Tyler saying how he went out to schools. Nothing as powerful as going to a school, seeing a school. And seeing a school now is one thing. Seeing a school in session is really effective. But seeing a school and talking to families and friends about Catholic education, because the people in the buildings sell the school.
Yeah. And you see what a couple of hours in a Catholic school did to
right.
Tyler, so it could happen to you too.
I'm encouraging. If you're thinking about Catholic education or have any questions, just go by your local school. Just stop in. Just meet the people, see the kids in the hallway, see the beautiful artwork, and just experience it for yourself. And I promise you, whatever Catholic school you go into in the Diocese of Wilmington, you are going to have an experience. And it could be like mine. It could be life-changing. And I just encourage you to make that plunge and just go and see what it's all about.
Well, Dr. Kulp and Dr. D'Angelo, thanks so much for being with us today on Catholic Forum, and have a very blessed and wonderful school year.
Thank you very much, and I'm going to hold you to that teaching career.
Okay.
Thank you, Bob. I really appreciate it.